Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So with the beta finally came to a close, just as any normal beep, I wanted to take some time to recollect my thoughts, to talk about the beta, on what things I liked, and ones I wish come back in future betas or just in its official release, and things I wish that shouldn't see the light of day. And to make it a little extra fun, I'm going to have stands of things I would approve to come back, or things I disapprove that should be burned to the eternal flames. As well, this is all going to be my own opinion, so if you disagree on things I may say, that's perfectly fine. You can feel either way. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. The first thing I want to talk about is the character roster. This has to be one of my favorite things out of this beta, but not by the how it looks. Don't worry, we'll talk about that capital H word when we get to it. This is because it's a good way to introducing the player on what type of characters there are, ranging from your all-arounders to your tricky characters, showing what type of ranges they're good at and how difficult they to play. Also, I find it cute how each character has their own title depending on their playstyle on the bottom. So I hope Arc System Work keeps this, but makes the design more better. The CPUs were added difficulty where they hold still, but they would still move either way. This is great for people to try out maybe different characters, what type of combos to find, and just try to play around with it all entirely. I did not expect myself being in love playing with May, since charge characters are really not my forte. So just like the character select screen, I hope us have a offline part of the beta for later on for the other ones. This has to be one of the most beautifully looking games out of an entire Guilty Gear series, period. Heck, I might even say this is the most good looking fighting games out there. And this is just the beta here, people. The transitions from the versus screen to each character's instructions to the battle itself are smooth and magnificent. Even looking at the gameplay itself is just so darn fun. Even the wall break transitions are crazy on their own right. The music, like always, is fantastic, with making the gameplay experience on its own makes you feel like a badass on an action scene, times it by a million. The fact that the game's looks are on Xrd Rev 2 cutscenes level? God, I can only imagine what this game's story is gonna be like. This beta makes me curious about the series story to want to know what happened here. Some of the characters' redesigns to intros and the music really give off that feel of a brand new chapter to most of the characters, or a sign that they have had a relook on life and been given freedom. Voss for example, wasn't always like this. Back in Xrd, he was just a goofy, upbeat guy who enjoyed every part of life. Here?
On themselves, they blame the beasts. Heaven or hell.
Jeez. What's not to be visually appealing is the beta's HUD, or the game's health bar meter, which is confusing being that the character's portrait or burst bar moves with the health. I'm not a fan for this, being that this can cause many problems for people to keep an eye on it. It's already crazy to know how this game is fast-paced. With the portrait moving can just make it much more of a problem. Even some of the things are hard to look for. I did not notice that purple bar under the character's portrait or burst bar was the tension until the beta ended, as for me to recollect my thoughts for this video. So I hope in general, this all gets redesigned for the better than this clean, minimalist style we got. I get why it's for making it simple for new players to understand it, but I still think this HUD should be redesigned, just for the reason of I'm not cool with the design, since it's not really Guilty Gear, and for it being more better to understand what's on screen, because this is not the way to go. Not to mention the combo counter is a little too big, even when it gets to the mighty double digits, that I can see this being as a distraction, and hopefully this does get resized for the better. When playing the beta for the first time, it felt weird. Back in Xrd Rev 2, felt more loose and smooth. This feels more firm, if that makes any sense. But thankfully, for only a short while, as it still has that fast-paced aggression Guilty Gear always has. Not to mention with this game having shorter combos, which I get since they want this game to be, again, beginner-friendly. Well, it isn't beginner-friendly, it's a damage output, cause dear god, it's absolutely absurd. Combos can live to 40 to even 90% of damage. Matches can go by quick, and your health can be gone in a blink of an eye. This needs to be fixed. I understand characters like Potemkin and Chip. Potemkin doing a lot of damage, but this is balanced for him being slow on the ground, as well needing to getting close to his opponent. And Chip being the glass cannon, hitting hard but having low health, which can get him killed quickly. But when you have Soul, a rush down all around character doing stuff like this, yeah, this is an absolute no. This stuff can be more optimized further later on with tech discovered, and this can only get more worse if this doesn't get taken care of as soon as possible.
You seeing this?
The corner breaker mechanic should either be done differently or taken out entirely. Depending on the amount of attacks you did on your opponent to the corner, it will break and it will cause the screen transition. I understand for people not wanting to stay in the corner, but when you get to the point of a wall break, you would stop there, since why would you continue? For it gives you meter, which, it's not bad, but to lose the ability to keep your player in the corner to continue your pressure. Because why would a Potemkin player, a slow-moving grappler, who wants to get in his opponent, want to set his opponent back to neutral? As well, it's pretty sad. You're gonna have to give up your momentum. You know that oh yeah, let's keep this going feeling, since it's all gonna be interrupted with the wall break mechanic. I feel the condition for it should be different, instead on your amount of hits on your opponent. Instead, using your dust, for example. Something different than this, but that's just me at least. Now let's talk about the online, more specifically, the lobby. Let's get this out of the way first. I want to say I'm a fan of the menu for the lobby. It's pretty good, allowing you to choose your character, exiting or entering to a different lobby, and I hope this becomes a thing for the actual release. How the lobby works is like a ranking system, the lobby having 9 rooms, with the lower rooms for the low-level people and the higher ones for the highly skilled. And going up to those rooms is simple, depending on the amount of wins you get at rank up. Same goes depending on the amount of losers you rank down. Getting games is simply by holding up your weapon against someone who has one by themselves, getting near to get yourself into a match. Which seems to work on paper, but unfortunately falls flat on its face. One, it does take a while to start a match with standing near to one person, but there are times for actually moving around to help get the match quicker to some extent, but mostly of the time it will only just trying to get yourself a match take even longer. This is just only for one person, because goodness, it can only just be more worse with more people clumped up together. Also, I don't get why there isn't a rematch option to players you want to play against. I'm not a fan of the look of this lobby, in my opinion. I like what Rev 2 had going on with its 3D-like world. And I hope it's gonna be a thing in the official release. For the look at least. This is where I would talk about things I liked about the lobby rank system, but thankfully, I was able to collect my thoughts and see on other people's opinions on the lobby system. This has to be my most disliked part of this entire beta. I fucking hate this ranking system. When you rank up, you're unable to go back to your previous room you were. I despise this with a burning passion, for good reasons. One, if you came back to the beta the next day and you wanted to go get to lower rooms, get some warm-up so you can feel more better to go to higher ups. But unfortunately, you can't, since you can't go back to the previous ones if you're more of a higher level. Or it's the same way you want to choose a character you may not have a lot of time to play with online, but you want to go to, again, lower matches to warm up to try this character and go to the higher matches. But you can't! Also, when you get a rank change, it interrupts you to the person you are playing against. And it just takes so long to actually get you to the rooms. I have no idea this is the case. And to explaining why I wanted to possibly talk about the pros about the ranking system, the reason is, weirdly enough, this ranking change stuff didn't happen to me. I did get the notification for a rank up or down, but my rank didn't seem to change, and I could go to any of the other rooms as a level 1. But again, thankfully, I was able to look at other people's opinions to know my new bane of the existence of the beta. Also, when you get disconnects from matches, you seem to not move and it's going to be feeling like you're in purgatory. I can go on and on about this, but you get what I mean. If this ranking system is not cool, and hope this getting taken out as soon as possible for something better. The connection for the online would vary. Ones are going to be stable, others stable, while having some stutter, and others that are just no. Just God no. With ones can have stutter, and from what I know, times can have lag. There isn't really much to say a lot here, since I wasn't able to encounter with this stuttering and lags up myself as much, and only on rare occasions. Jeez, first I didn't get cucked by the ranking system and able to get mostly good connections. Man, I really am lucky.
I live!
But I wouldn't be surprised people would experience the lag in other type games on occasions. But from what I'm seeing, at times people were able to find stable good matches, but I would understand people being split on the connection for the beta. But thankfully, rollback netcode will be a fix to this problem. Hopefully. So in short, when the connection is good, the matches are a blast. But when getting stutter and lag matches, not so much. Hey, thanks for stopping by or watching the video. If you liked it, click on the like button, not to mention the subscribe button, as well hitting the bell to keep an eye out on other vids I got coming in the pipelines. I want to know what you guys think of the beta. Tell me in the comments below. Again, thanks, and see you later.